You're walking down the street when you run into a snazzy-looking robot. The robot tells you, "I'm super intelligent and a gardening expert. For a colossal crop of tomatoes in your garden, plant the abracadabra variety of tomato." Should you believe it? Say you don't have an opinion on which tomato varieties would grow well in your garden. Given that you're unsure whether the robot's claim is true or false, how could you get a sense of whether it's likely to be true? This video maps out 9 types of indirect indicators one can consider when assessing the reliability of a source, like a newspaper, podcast, robot, or anything else. The overarching question is, what's the probability that a claim is true, given that some particular source, like a robot, makes that claim? Let's look at the map piece by piece. It's natural to start by considering what you already think about the claim. If you already believed that abracadabra doesn't grow well in your garden, you'd immediately doubt the robot's reliability. In this case, though, we've assumed you don't yet have any beliefs about tomato varieties, so reliability indicator number 1 won't help us out. Next, let's consider whether the claim accords with your other beliefs. For instance, maybe you believe that absolutely nothing grows well in your garden. Your garden's basically rocks, so you can infer that abracadabra probably won't either. This could already give you a reason to question the robot's reliability. Now let's see if we can glean any clues from the robot's claim itself and your background knowledge about the claim's domain. The robot says abracadabra will do well specifically in your garden, rather than in all gardens. It would be absurd to say that a tomato variety would give a colossal crop in all gardens. There are always some conditions where a plant variety will do poorly, so perhaps it's promising that the robot's claim is as specific as it is. This may count in favor of reliability. Fourth, consider the conversational context. Why is the robot talking to you anyway? You didn't ask for advice. Is unsolicited gardening advice more or less likely to be reliable? Fifth, consider judgment packaging. Maybe you'd have more reason to trust the robot if it told you it was highly confident in its claim about abracadabra. You might also think the robot's more reliable if it gave you a plausible-sounding explanation for why abracadabra would do well in your garden. Sixth, let's look at inputs to the process that generated the robot's claim. For the robot to make accurate judgments about your garden, you'd expect it to have access to at least some information about your garden, like information about climate. If you learn the robot doesn't have a clue about your climate, that's reason to doubt its reliability. Seventh, what do you know about the robot's internal operation? Say you discover that even though the robot has access to lots of relevant inputs, like information about your garden, it actually generates gardening claims by randomly remixing sentences from seed catalogs. You'd know you couldn't trust it. Eighth, you can look at track record evidence and patterns in past outputs. Maybe you've met this robot every year for the last 3 years, and sometimes you followed its advice. If its claims about carrots were right, but its claims about kale and peppers were wrong, you might conclude it's not so reliable. Or maybe last year this very same robot told you that abracadabra would do poorly in your garden. That contradictory pattern of advice alone would be reason to doubt its reliability. Finally, you might want to consider etiology, or the origins of the source giving you advice. Does the robot come from a company you already distrust? Perhaps because its past robotic systems gave you bad advice? Now imagine the robot tells you this: "I'm also an expert on morality. You should give away 10% of your paycheck each month to charities fighting malaria." Should you believe it?